Hey guys, it's Mr. Sanchez here, and I'm coming at you guys with another lesson for Algebra 1. Today's lesson is going to be 4-1. What's 4-1? Well, it's absolute value equations. All right. Our learning targets today are to understand what is meant by solution of of an absolute value equation. And the more important one, I think, is we need to know how to solve absolute value equations. All right. So, but before we begin, we got to define our new word, absolute value. Absolute value is the distance a number is from zero. All right. Um, and I'll get into that in a bit. And we write absolute value in math in a specific way. Absolute value notation, it's really going to be these two lines surrounding a number or an expression. Okay. It looks like this. It looks like this, okay? So if you see something that looks like this, you're gonna read it. It's read like the absolute value of -2. All right, and let's find out what the absolute value of -2. All right. Remember, absolute value is the distance from zero. So let's look at -2. All right. If we count this, it's gonna be 1, 2. That's 2 units away from zero. So therefore, the absolute value of -2 is just gonna be 2. All right, and then we could actually try other numbers, right? So let's say we wanted to know the absolute value of 3. All right, what does that equal? So that's going to be 1, 2. That's 3 steps away from 3. So net positive 3 is going to be positive 3. What about -1? All right, so let's say we're -1. How many units is that away? That's going to be 1 unit away. So the absolute value of -1 is going to be positive 1. Remember, absolute value is always going to give you a positive number as a result because we're talking about distance here. And the distance from zero is always going to be positive, no matter which side you're on. We're just counting how many spaces we are away from zero. Okay. And so just keep that in mind when we're solving equations. All right. And that's basically it. That's all what absolute value is. But that's the basics. Now we're gonna look at absolute value equations, right? And I have two different type of equations that need to be solved differently. Okay. So we have this problem here, right? We have x, the absolute value of x minus 1 is equal to 4. This is also what number is 4, just 4 units away from -1, from 1. But, let's not focus on that. All right, so step one. All right, so step one, this is what the interesting part about absolute value. All right, you actually have to split this problem up. Step one, you're going to rewrite the problem like this and like this. All right, so you're gonna have x minus 1 equal to 4. So you're gonna keep this and this, okay? But the next part you're gonna do x minus 1. So you're gonna keep this number, but you're gonna turn this negative. So it's gonna equal to -4. And you're just gonna have to trust me on that. There's a reason why we do this, but we for time's sake, we're not gonna explain it in class in this video. We're gonna explain it in class, all right? And then we proceed to solving these problems, right? So you're gonna do +1 here, +1 here, right? And that's gonna go away, and you're gonna get x is equal to 5. And then you're gonna do the same thing here. You're gonna do +1 here, +1 here, and this time you're gonna get x is equal to -3. All right. So the solution, and then step 2 is solved. All right, step 2 solve this one. Step 3 would be solve this one. All right. The solution to absolute value of x minus 1 is equal to 4 r x equals 5 and then x equals -3. Pretty straightforward, right? Yeah, so that's basically how we do it. That's how we do it. If everything is, and remember, this process only works is if everything is inside the absolute value, right? So if you notice here, everything is inside the absolute value, right? And the other type of problem we're gonna see is there's gonna be stuff outside the absolute value, okay? So you see how we have stuff inside and we have stuff outside. Well, whenever you have stuff outside the absolute value, get rid of everything outside of the absolute value. So step one, get absolute value by itself, right? All right, so that will be step one, all right? So we're gonna get x minus 3 plus 2 equal to 6. All right, so some people make the mistake of splitting it up right now. No, we cannot do that because the absolute value is not by itself. So you're going to get the absolute value by itself. You're going to do that by doing -2 to both sides, okay? And you're going to get absolute value of x minus 3 equal to 4, okay? And if there was a number outside here, you'd have to get rid of that number as well, all right? And now you split it up. Now step 2, split up the equation. All right, so we're gonna split it up here, right? So it's gonna give us 2 problems. We're gonna get x minus 3, and remember we take away the absolute value signs equal to 4, and then x minus 3 equal to 4, and then we're gonna rewrite x minus 3, and this time we're gonna write -4. And now all we gotta do is solve. Right here we're gonna do plus 3, and that's gonna yield us x is equal to 7, or we're gonna do plus 3, and that's gonna give us x is equal to -1, right? And that's gonna be our solution. So therefore, and you don't have to write that sentence I wrote. That's just what something I wrote for you guys. And then step 3 solve. All right. So other than that, guys, that's about it. We're gonna end the meeting right here. All right. Have a great day. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Zooms in class. We're gonna go over more complicated problems. This is just a basic rundown with like a 1-step equation or a 2-step. Okay. We're obviously gonna have different varying levels of difficulty, and you're gonna be quizzed on those as well. All right. Other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you guys in